Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Cristani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I'm joined by the beautiful Diana Divine. She's a galactic shaman and soul guide with 25 years of experience. She integrates quantum, shamanic, and psychological tools to offer personalized workshops and sessions. As the founder of the Source Language Institute, Diana teaches and activates others through light language, facilitating deep transformation and multidimensional awakening. Her connection to galactic wisdom and energy alchemy blends ancient knowledge with modern insights, guiding seekers on their journey of ascension and divine remembrance. You can listen to Diana's podcast, Soul Communication, on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. And at the end of the show, we'll talk about where you can find them a bit more. But a big welcome to the show, Diana.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Catherine.
So I love talking about Galactic, so I'm really excited to talk to you. So I feel the first question to ask is, how did Galactics come into your life?
Wow, it's a good question. Yeah, I've been on a journey for, as you said, over 2 decades. They didn't come in right away. I think that really started percolating in the last decade or so with a lot of my own past life memories, and some of them on Earth, some of them off Earth. And then about 8 years or so, I started channeling what's called light language or source language. And that's what I help others activate, which is a type of channeling that is all through your higher self, and you bring in different frequencies in. And often these frequencies start from our own galactic past. So the language that opened for me was Lyran Draco. So that had to do a lot with my memories of those star systems and my role in a lot of the Lyran Wars and the galactic drama that was going on in the beginning of, I would say, humanoid experience here in the Milky Way. Galactic is something that is an age that we're stepping into right now. I see in the next 5 years, the soft disclosure has been already here through the movies, and now more and more people talking about possibility of open contact. I'm doing a lot of galactic akashic records readings. People really want to know where they're from, especially starseeds. They started to remember themselves because they are reclaiming those pieces of memories for themselves, some qualities that different starseeds carry, and also remembrance that not the soul might have started in one star system, but actually traveled to different star systems before it even decided to come to Earth. So many of us who are here, we all volunteers, and we have certain qualities and certain frequencies that we carry in our blueprint. And we've trained quite a bit to come to this density. These star systems part of who we are, and we carry that in our body because this humanoid body has over 25 genomes of the different galaxies beyond Milky Way, but definitely different star systems within the Milky Way. So it's an interesting journey of reclamation, and I've been helping others to piece in this big puzzle of who we are, and it's never ending. It's like I feel myself as like a galactic historian. I'm always in awe myself because there's always new information coming in. But yeah, it's an exciting place to be right now because it's becoming more and more acceptable, and people are actually asking questions and want to know more. So yeah, we can talk more and dive into any questions you have on that.
I love this, and thank you because you confirmed what I've been channeling and what I've been getting in my life. So thank you for reflecting that back, especially about the star galaxy codes and galactic codes being in the DNA strands of our genome and in our galactic makeup, really. I find it fascinating because when we tuned in, I noticed the purple light behind you, but I kept seeing a lion, and then as soon as you said Lyra, and I went, okay, there's the
Yes. On this side, yes, this is the hybrid form of myself, really, from the Lyran system. And many probably would relate to it because they've seen it in the movie Avatar, and James Cameron really done a great job depicting the Lyran system. And they're more in the with the blue skin, because those are more kind of the vegans within the Lyran system. There were different races. The Lyrians were more like Nordic lions, so their skins were like more brown and white. But yes, very tall, like just if you can imagine, 9 foot, really graceful. And the hybrids were kind of combination between feline beings and humanoids. So there were different races that were developed in the Lyran system. And a lot of, I would say, Pleiadians, Syrians, a lot of them carry the Lyran blueprint already, because Lyrans were the ancestors. So the humanoid experience in this galaxy started in the Lyran system. So when the creative beings, the Elohim collective, came from Andromeda Galaxy to create this experiment here of physicality, Lyra was picked as the first kind of place of civilization due to its planets. They were very large planets, had a lot of water, and so it was best for life. And that's where the initial seeding started. So I love talking about Lyra, because I remember my experiences in Lyra very vividly. And I was also royal Lyran, so I come from a royal lineage, and I was very much involved in the whole Draco Lyran situation, and I have very clear memories. I was actually groomed into Draco Alliance, where so we can go into all of that as well.
Please
It's a
do.
very, yeah,
Tell
it's
us
very
more
interesting.
about. So I guess for anyone listening, going, what are they talking about? Lyran, Palladian, Sirius, like Draco. What does all this
What I
mean?
always, yeah.
I trust your intuition on this. What people need to know about these different
Yeah. I mean, you can think of it like
energies.
Star Wars, right? In
That's
Star
how I think
Wars,
of it too.
yeah, the reason people love Star Wars so much, and like on the solar resonance, there's something there, and they just don't always know what. And again, it's like a way of the Hollywood bringing in self disclosure, or, the director is just like pulling this information themselves from, the ether, from their own maybe memory banks. And in Star Wars, you had the Empire and you had kind of the Jedi, the rebels, and there is this conflict that's happening where the Empire takes over the planets and destroys the planets with these laser beam type of technology. And that's what happened, unfortunately. So these planets that I'm talking about in the Lyran system, so you can imagine these paradise templates where there was a lot of love and light, and just like in the movie Avatar, a lot of tribal type of experience, deep connection to the planet that beings lived on. There's like a lot of beautiful animals. And that's kind of for a while what the Lyrans knew. They were just kind of growing and evolving in these planets. And then neighboring planet system, if you look into cosmology, is the Draco system. And that's where these reptilian type of Lises, they call beings, come from. So there's different echelons. There's the dragons. The dragons are much more neutral. These are the ones I'm discussing specifically, are the warrior caste. In Star Trek, for those who love sci-fi, I would equate them to Klingons. So they had very strong moral code, but their own way of self-service. So Lyrans were more about community and service to others, and those qualities that we know today, like just being playful and very about, helping each other. And the Dracos, they come from a different universe altogether, and they come with this like survivalist type of mentality, but also domination. So very much an empire domination. So anyway, they started running out of resources, and they saw Lyra as a neighboring system. So they came first under the pretext of alliance and friendship and bringing new, very developed technology, because they had these like warp ships. And the Lyrians were very naive. They kind of knew civilization, and they were very trusting, I would say, and allowed the Dracos to come into the system and be in the system for a while. And then it came to that place where, in my own experience, I was actually groomed, and there was like a marriage that happened, and an alliance between the Lyrans and the Dracos. But then there was another faction within the Dracos that really just wanted to take over. They just wanted to take over the resources, the minerals. They didn't really want a friendship. And eventually, this is what happened. They got really frustrated. They didn't want to wait, and they came in with this laser beam technology, so high end and low end, and slaughtered, I would say, millions and millions of Lyrans. And so many of us still carry that trauma in our DNA. And these traumas, the galactic traumas, are very much present,
Explain
not
that.
for everyone, but a lot of people that come my way, like just even the other day, I opened the records and it was destruction of one of the planets in Vega. And when I started clearing that record, the woman was crying. There was a lot of release. It also helped her understand, for instance, the Hindu gods, that the Krishna, the Vishnu, they all actually vegans too, hence the blue skin, like they all came from Vegas. So there is these correlations between even our religions on earth and some of the deities that some religions follow, and these also galactic connections. The thing is, what's interesting, I'll just zoom out, as we incarnate in every lifetime, specifically on earth, we in this multidimensional amnesia here, and this is part of the experiment for us not to remember. And so each time we're born, we don't remember our galactic past. We don't even remember our past lives on Earth, mind you. So all the lessons we've learned, or all the experiences we've collected, they just like somewhere sitting there in the subconscious, or maybe even in the energetic field itself. So there's resistances and traumas, and we have hard time understanding why these things, why we've been so sensitive, or why these feelings come up. And yes, sometimes it's as relevant as traumas in our childhood, or some abandonment issues. But some of these abandonments go far back than that, and they have to do with the fact that we lost our original home, that we these beautiful templates, these paradise templates and planets. When I say template, I mean template of consciousness, where we would just thrive in a civilization, and we were attacked. And this is where I believe a lot of trauma, drama, but also this victim victimizer programming started. So when I'm seeing this perpetuation of narcissism, and empath versus narcissistic tendencies that are happening within even our collective, like the patterns that we repeat and replaying, we literally replaying that. We replaying the victim and the victimizer that just came and took over, and they keep on shifting. So it's very relevant to what is happening. And even if though you're not always aware, as you start surfacing up, there is always healing that happens deeper inside. And I feel we are in this place of reclamation and remembering who we truly are. And if you don't remember yourself, there's so many beautiful modalities. I take people, if I could do the Akashic Records reading myself, because I read information is all in the field. It's not local. It's actually all in the quantum field. Or I take people into what's called quantum healing hypnosis, into their past lives, where it's just like a meditative journey through the hypnosis. Their higher self is showing them those lives. And often it's just earthly lives, but sometimes they could be galactic and cosmic and angelic, and sometimes not even in the forms. So we so focused on this life right now, which is the most important life, but it's also important for us to reintegrate all these energies. There's the light, there's the darkness, and how do we bring it all into this place of acceptance and this place of healing, and opening our hearts in a compassionate way, and really allowing more energy into our field, because these traumas create resistance in our field. And so it's not really letting us fully thrive in the way that we could, because we're incredible. I mean, this technology, the human body is incredible, so many genomes, the DNA too. I mean, there's, we know only of 2 strands of DNA, but really there's 12 strands that we yet to activate. So the potential for the human species is incredible. And that's why there's so many beings that are very much interested in evolution right now. And even though you might not be connected to them yet, they are in your field. Your soul family is around you. And so when this Lyran conflict happened, Some of the lions obviously didn't survive, but some have. And we did have some ships that were just not technologically as evolved. So they jumped on these ships and they had to go somewhere. And if you look into a sky, there's other star systems. So they did go to Pleiades, which is 7 sisters. It's 7 stars. And it was very far away. So that journey took really long journey for them. Some went to Sirius system, some went to Orion system. So all that, I would say, Star Wars saga that you see where it's like that scene from the cantina. And then like, if you remember, he walks in and there's all these species. There are so many species that we yet to even discover and have the scientific proof, because we just vibrate in such a different frequency bandwidth. We don't even have all the access yet. But I believe it's in the next 5 years, we'll be surprised. It's starting. Yeah, everyone talks about it. Like Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, his predictions between 2027 and 2030, there will be definitely open contact. But for me, I'm having contact all the time. I go on the ships in my meditations. I go to Andromeda systems. So as a Lyran, I went to Andromeda, and that's where my incarnations have been, and then long journey to Earth. So those of us that are here, we volunteered. We volunteered for this earthly project to elevate the frequency of Earth, to try this experiment here, to see if this humanoid experience can evolve in its own new way, and also whether we can integrate this galactic drama in these bodies. So there's so much there.
When you first said galactic trauma, I thought you said galactic drama, and then I was like, no, she said trauma, but
trauma,
it's
drama,
drama,
same. Totally, it's same. Yeah, I mean, drama causes a trauma and the other way around. So yeah, definitely.
And I love that you brought up too why you work with it's important for people to remember this, because sometimes it can help you understand what is being triggered in you right now, even though you have no idea why it's being triggered. But I believe, this is just through my work, that if you're being shown a galactic life, a past life, whatever it might be, whether it's on Earth or somewhere else, there's a reason you need to know that, because you've come to like exactly like you said, heal the karma or the wounds from that. And that is why you chose to have that soul fragment or soul experience come to you, and why you need to address it. And if you get shown it and ignore it, it's just going to come out like as another lesson in your life until it's actually addressed.
Yeah, I mean, we have to realize, so this is like a hardware that we get to experience here in the earthly experience, but the soul is like a software, and the soul carries all the information that it has collected. And therefore, if there are some blue imprints, I would say, on the software that have experienced that darker periods, that has left an imprint. And so we have all these light bodies around us, and how soul operates is all based on this imprint. So it's almost like we need to run an antivirus program on our software to ensure that energy is not leaking. I think one of the metaphors that I use a lot that might be helpful is like, how like you open your browser and sometimes you have so many tabs open. Like I'm looking at my browser right now. Oh my God, I open like at least 25 to 30, and then my computer at some point is like having a hard time running because the processor is like, okay, too many tabs are open. You got to like close them down. Like I can hear the sound. And sometimes the computer freezes all the time. So like you have to reboot it all together. And that's really us. Like we need to close out tabs, because otherwise we don't have enough processing power to process the information, but also process the light particles that come in our way. So we are light beings. We have to remember that before we were formed, we are light, we are quantum. And for us to be able to be more in tune with processing of information, holding that light within our field, we need to allow the tabs to close, but also when the tabs are open, we leak in energy. So we leak in energy into those moments in time, because time is also alive. So moments in time, galactically, earthly, all these different realms of existence where it's still entangled to our current experience. And so that's how I see it from like energetics perspective. So when we surface up that remembrance, when we look at it, we understand it, we learn the lesson from it, and we're like, oh, I get it now. Okay, this happened. I accept it in this moment. And now it's conscious, is no longer subconscious. Then that's where really the healing happens. And then we collapse the timeline, we close the tab, and my process is working a little lighter. So I feel lighter. It's no longer a burden that I carry with me. Similarly, ancestral traumas. So many carry some baggage that's not even theirs, and that's also passed through the lineages. So all that work that we do is, does catch up with us in a good way, because if we don't do it, we just don't even know.
I joked with my spiritual mentor. I'm like, of course I'm going to do the work. I don't want to live through this shit again.
Exactly, because what happens is if you don't do it, like let's say you have a relationship with someone and there was probably some karma, some unresolved tension, and it's coming up again. And you just, walk away from it. You don't fully close that particular pattern with that soul. Guess what? You're going to be coming back again in the next incarnation cycle, or the cycle after, in a different format. Maybe not as a husband and wife, maybe as a brother, sister, whatever it is. And you're going to be reworking that pattern again until you finally resolve it. And that's why a lot of the soul family is traveling together, because if you, all the many past life regressions I've done, there's definitely someone that, continuously coming again or reworking it this way, until you get to a lifetime where you actually able to see it and understand, and you're like, oh, I get this now, like this is the lesson. I forgive you now. I release you. And that's where the cord is kind of cut off, and in the future, there's choice now, there's a free will.
100%. I love how you frame that, because it is exactly like that. If you don't choose to, not only does it play out in this life where we're incarnated and talking right now, then it'll keep playing out again and again and again until you go, oh, I get it now.
Exactly.
Did your work with the galactics and the light work and playing with the source code and everything like that, is that what led to your quantum creation program?
Yeah, so I wrote a book. It's called Mastering Quantum Creation, Awaken the Phoenix Within, Manifest Your Reality, and Reclaim Your Cosmic Power. My book is just encompassing all of this. Like I really has it broken into three parts: remembering, expansion, and mastery. Because I believe to be fully whole, we need to remember, and what we just literally talked about, go into past lives, like healing the traumas, whatever they are, to really remember who we truly are. Beyond this little body here, there's so many aspects of us, and some of them, mind you, are parallel selves, are future selves, and sometimes they start communicating with us. So when we talk about the guides are really us, just in a different form. And they are there to actually guide us as well, because they are helping us. It's all interconnected web. So from quantum perspective, everything is entangled. And so as we remember, that's when we start expanding. So this is where our gifts come online, and our quantum gifts, light language is one of them. So it's just opening into this frequency language, and opening a kundalini field for more energy to flow through. So remembering is one part, and then expanding the gifts is the next part, where we really then from that place start bringing the gifts online, which we already have, but we forgot how to use them. So that is being that instrument, the divine instrument of bringing the frequencies through our channel, expanding our kundalini energy, like really tapping into all these channels of energy that we have within us. And mastery is then at realizing also that we are masters of our reality. We are quantum creators, and we forgot that we are creators. I mean, as a creator beings, we created nebulas and planets, and this whole Milky Way and Earth has been created by us. So we have to take responsibility for that, and on a collective level, and sometimes on a personal. We don't think about it that way, but really we creators, and we create it all the time. So now from that place is like what makes us a master is starting to observe our reality, seeing these patterns, and how we can now play this game of consciousness in a much more conscious way. So, we get to choose the directions we take, and how manifestation is all part of creation as well. It's like everything is available in the quantum field of information, and how we manifest is really depends. There's some ingredients, like we have to have intention and clarity and some fuel and energy to put things in place, but it's a co-creative also mechanism. Universe is a friendly place. It always wants to help us, and it's for us. So those are some of the teachings that I help to people remember and empower them, that we are these incredible sovereign beings, have incredible potential. It's just now we remembering that we do.
100%. And definitely, you're remembering that we are light beings and co-creators, and that everything around us is part of our creation as well. A lot of people really struggle to accept that too. It's like, oh, really? I was the co-creator? It's like, yes, you were. So, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, stepping into your power is a big thing, because we've always played it small. And the reason why we have, because some of these religions, and these systems that have been placed during, the dark ages, the last few centuries we went to, have put us in this place of dissociation. And in some ways, a lot of the high priestesses, high priests from the time of Atlantis, they have kind of put their powers on hold, because we went through this place, this moment of dissension, I would say, of consciousness, where it wasn't acceptable anymore, and religion took over to control the populace. But we are coming out of it. We're going now in like age of Aquarius. We're moving towards the golden age, back on ascension cycle, where we remembering and reclaiming that power. And so people are still dealing with a lot of fears. Like when things change and they get out of a comfort zone, we step into this unknown. It's very uncomfortable. Like the ego is still very much tries to control us. But if we breathe into our heart space, operate from our heart, not from the ego, mind, brain, and just feel, then we really have all the answers. All the answers within us, because we are also sparks of this creation. We are the universe. And so it's deep listening that needs to happen. And I think it's happening. I mean, I've been on this journey for a long time, and I'm observing, even in the last 5 years, so many people during, the pandemic went inwards, because they were forced, right, not to be distracted by the noise, sit at home, maybe start meditating, doing yoga, and breathing and noticing the present moment. And it's really all about the now. And as you step into the now, that's when you're able to step into your channel. And in the listening, you tap into the quantum field of all the information and all the connections to the galactics, to the guides, to the angels, to all these other realms that are available for us. They're just very subtle. So there needs to be this inner listening that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Even, the pandemic started to get people to ask questions as well. Like, hey, like, why am I doing this job when I can be at home with my family? Or why am I doing this when this feels more aligned with me? And, it was almost this ascension spark, I feel, because I know that's when I started to question everything a lot more. And I went through a really rapid awakening during that time, where it was like, I'm not giving into this fear narrative. I'm stepping out of this. What is going on here? And how can we shift
Yeah.
that really quickly? So I feel like it ended up being a catalyst for most souls, rather than oppressing them. Because it did oppress people to a point, but then they went, well, this isn't aligning. Why does this feel so restrictive? And a lot of people started to ask more questions. Like you said, go within, do practices they wouldn't normally have space or time to do because they're traveling or they're always at work or whatever it might be. And all of a sudden they have the space to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I do feel it was a catalyst, and more catalysts are coming our way. We are in this moment, in this influx, I would say, of more activation happening. We also receiving a lot of solar activity, so almost on a daily basis now, where solar flares create these geomagnetic storms. But that means just like we're getting more light particles into our field. These are upgrades that are happening for us on energetic and biological level, but also on the consciousness level, because they just kind of retuning us as for us to start questioning, right? Questioning is everything, because it's all about self-discovery. It's like sitting in this question of who am I? Who am I really? Am I the labels that, am I the director, the VP, the CEO? Am I the mother? Am I the friend? Am I the sister? All these labels and all these roles and masks that we carry. But underneath all of that facade, like, who am I really? What's my true essence? Because all of these layers, it's like I'm peeling the onion, right? As we start releasing them, we start getting more vulnerable, more authentic, and really deeper into the truth of who we really are. And that's what I love to help others, is just to take them through that transformational journey of asking those big questions. Because the more you ask and the more you start digging deeper within yourself, the more you get those true answers. And through the ascension journey is all through contemplation. It's all about asking the question, sitting with it, really being true to yourself about the answer, like not trying to seek external validation, not being distracted, being very discerning. And through that process, starting to really see the picture. And that's where all that, I feel, awakening, ascension starts happening. The spiritual kind of journey takes off wherever direction it wants to go.
Yeah, beautiful. And Diana, as we start to finish our time together, which I know we could keep talking, but
Yeah.
you need to go to bed. I asked the guests if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
Wow, what a big question.
Just to finish.
So there's a lot of work to do right now. I would say two things. First, a lot of my work right now is kind of in the background is around the, the the grids of the planet. So in order to hold this structure and foundation for us to move forward into the next level of consciousness, we need more active grids. And grids are basically, if you can think of them like these physical and also subtle blueprints that hold this, framework, this tapestry of energy that we're all co-creating together. And we had grids at the time of Atlantis. So we had these, special networks that we've been creating. A lot of them been hijacked and taken down. In some ways, we're creating new ones right now. So that's healing is more like, I would say, building, foundational building for me. And then the other aspect I would say is around the children, because there's a lot of children, new children that are coming in right now, and they already carry a lot of incredible frequency that is much more free than we are, because they're not carrying as much earthly trauma, and because most of them haven't had experiences on earth before. But it also, they don't have the support structures. So like the educational system, for instance, is very outdated model that is not really supporting them in being who they truly need to be. Like my kid really struggles with that right now. So it's very much in something that I've been thinking about. How can we support the children and provide for them these new containers, new ways of learning, new ways of connecting to Mother Earth, that's more grounded than sitting in classrooms and learning something they're not really motivated or interested about, being more connected to metaphysics, to breath work, to meditation. And some schools are already starting to do that, but just there's not enough. So yeah, I would say we need to really heal that system and many systems, but those I think are really important, because that's like the next generation of these beautiful souls, because otherwise they get lost in all of this overwhelmness of information. Like now, everything's available on internet, but it's also too much. Like it's a bit skewed, so they don't know how to filter it, and they
You said discernment.
Yeah, there's discernment is not there. They really swept into the trance, and it's a whole gamut of information, and they also questioning their identity, and sometimes going with trends that not necessarily them. But they also, there's a whole thing around that and how manipulated that is. So much I feel work that needs to happen on Earth. So when you ask what to heal, it's like so much healing needs to happen on so many levels. What do we focus right on? And I think at the end of the day, it's really one person at a time, right? If you can help one person and shift them just from their perspective, or help them smile, like you go to a store and they're in a bad mood and you start a conversation, because so many people are lonely these days. I live near New York City, so many lonely souls, and they're so disconnected, and if you just give them that moment of connection, even with a stranger, you already brightening their world. And so I feel, for me, it's really about connection. How do we bring connection back to our experiences, to our relationships, to ourselves? How do we connect again to really who we are? And so, yeah, there's a lot of, I don't like the word healing because it assumes it's a perpetual cycle of trying to fix things. I like to call recalibration, because recalibration means that we are already perfect. There's nothing wrong with us. And all we're doing is realigning ourselves. We are remembering, realigning to that true blueprint, that angelic blueprint, the truth of who we are. And as we realign back, then it's all like clicks in. And then it's like, oh yeah, I got this. And then healing happens on its own because, for instance, this body, this technology knows how to heal itself, but it's often out of alignment because of many factors, So that's my take on healing.
Well, I called my company Willow Healing, and then I was like, actually, no, everyone's whole. But I learned that later. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? If people feel like they need healing, then I guess that will lead them to me at the same time. We'll see how it evolves, I guess. So
Yeah.
this is
I mean,
this is the thing. Yeah,
this is what we know, right? And then we can
yeah.
refine, and we can use new vocabulary. And so I don't call myself anymore healer. Like, I don't like that word. I call myself facilitator and educator, because I like to place the responsibility on them, not on someone like me coming and fixing them, because then it assumes that they're disempowered and they can't do it themselves. I like the idea that you are already incredible, right? Quantum master creator. You just forgot that you are. And now I'm just helping you to realign, to remember that you are. And then the rest you already know how to do. It's such a different framework. It's such a different mindset, because then the healing happens in the understanding of self. And so that's kind of my thesis around healing. Yeah.
I love it. And I so agree, because when I work with clients, sometimes I might be instructed to help them energetically unlock something or do something, but it's more to give their power back more than me doing the work for them. Sometimes I do have to assist, and I'm sure you feel the same way sometimes. If you're like, okay, we need to give you a bit of a jump start and to get you
Oh,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No,
And
I'm doing a
then
lot of jump starts.
it's like, boom, boom, and they're like, wow. It's like, yeah, you can do this too. Really? It's like, yeah, by all means, but at the same time, it's just that I call it a reawakening, because it's all in there. It's just coming
Yes,
back, re-remembering,
correct.
like you said, recalibrating, re-coming back to you.
Yeah.
Diana, where can people come and find you if they want to listen to your
Yeah. The
podcast
best
or
is probably my website. It's Diana or DianaDivine.com. And I offer different activations. So there's one actually coming up, usually during portal times. Like there's one coming up on 12/12. I don't know when this recording will come up, but there will be many in 2026. I also offer different sessions one-on-one for clearing energy field, clearing the energetic templates, multidimensional templates, doing Akashic records for others, and taking them also into hypnosis, and also mentorship. A lot of people in this place of wanted to make a career change and step more into spiritual business and become a quantum creator for their reality in the new type of way of what services they want to offer. So help people to build that vision, to build that blueprint of how to go into this field, to be in the service for others and kind of hold them. Sometimes we need that accountability. We need a container and someone to just, guide us. And so, yeah, so I do a lot of that. And also you can find me on Instagram, Diana M. Divine, like Mary, Diana M. Divine, on YouTube, same Diana M. Divine. So Instagram is just always busy. I post a lot on quantum, on spiritual, on what's happening with the cosmic influences. So I share a lot of wisdom there too.
Beautiful. I'll make sure to follow you because I love all this stuff. So I'm going to follow you when we get off this call.
Yeah, you should. And recently I started also Substack. I don't know if you're familiar.
I love Substack. This is where
it's
my
also
episodes
Diana
come
M.
out.
Divine on Substack. So I start writing articles. It just comes naturally because I have so much information. Sometimes it's like all comes in as a download. I'm like, okay, I got to put it out. So yeah, it's all there.
And I feel the writing helps anchor it in this reality too. Otherwise, it's just kind of knowledge you've gotten, and then it makes it really hard to translate if you don't
I wrote a
go through the
book,
writing.
and so now to have a book, it's been a big undertaking but also to synthesize all of that information on paper is in a way that is relatable has been an interesting journey. But so for those who are interested in the book, is available on Amazon.
Thank you for being on the show, Diana, and I really appreciated all your insights into galactics and the importance of remembering that we are light beings and that we are quantum creators.
Thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.